One more announcement today. I have been with you nearly 27 years, and it's time for a change. I will be retiring soon. Some of you may not know this, but I'm turning 66 in the summer, and it's a good time for me to make a change. And more importantly for you, it's a good time for the parish to change and be in transition and to seek a new rector. So I was okay until I was doing all right until my wife's nodding and saying, "You're doing great, you're doing great." It's a sad thing, a transition. It has been an amazing 26 plus years in this place. We have done amazing things together. People have come and gone. We've had our ups and downs, but for the vast majority of time together, this has been a wonderful, joyous, blessed, sacred community that has served each other and lived out their faith together. And that will continue. That will continue. So there's a whole process of a rector stepping down and an interim rector coming in. I want to invite the wardens, the outgoing warden, Anne and Suzanne, to come forward if they want to say a few words. And we're also having a forum. It was a bit of a lie to say that the forum was about Pentecost, but not really, because Pentecost is about the Spirit moving through a community, which obviously the Spirit will continue to do. So the forum after the service is to talk about the process and answer any questions you have, to pray together and prepare ourselves for changes. So, Anne and Suzanne.
Thank you, Matt. Good morning, St. Mark's. I think it's fair to say there may be a mix of emotions happening in this room right now, and that is to be expected and certainly reflective of what I and others experienced when we heard Matt's news. For those of you experiencing anxiety or a sense of uncertainty, I want to say that we are prepared. Suzanne and Matt and I, as the Vestry Executive Committee, have been meeting for a long time to process this and put some things into place. And Peter Kidder and I are co-chairing a transition committee, and that group also includes, and I'm going to ask you to stand when I say your names, Jonathan Luke, incoming Vestry, Ann Anderson, and Mildred Jones. And Peter, please stand as well. These are people many of you know, but if you don't, please take a look at them, because these are really going to be resources for you. We have been working with the Canon for Transition Ministries at the diocese, who's been incredibly helpful, and her whole role is to hold our hand, is to walk us through this process from the beginning of the journey until we have a new rector. Briefly, and we can talk more about this at the forum, as Matt said, but there's several phases to this transition. First and foremost, our thanksgivings for our priest Matt, who has blessed us beyond measure these many years. We want to give him and his family a grateful farewell, and we hope to do that with 2 or 3 different events. And if you're interested in participating in planning those or volunteering, please see one of us on the committee. As Matt mentioned, part of the process is to identify an interim rector, and we are in the process of doing that. And this is someone who has very special training to guide us through this transition. Once identified, he or she will help us through a very purposeful and intentional discernment in preparation for calling a new rector, a process that can take time, but one that we don't want to rush. This is a time for all of us, all of you as this church, to ensure that whoever is called to be our next rector comes with a very accurate understanding of who we are as St. Mark's. And of course, the interim will work closely with our Associate Rector, Nancy Ross, who, while new to us, comes with significant experience. The vestry will identify and convene a search committee of parishioners, and with all of our help, all of your help, develop a parish profile for use in recruiting a new rector. And then finally, At some point, we will welcome a new rector and begin a new and important chapter in the life of St. Mark's. We know you have questions. We'll do our best to answer them. Our priority, along with the vestry, is to communicate frequently as we go on this journey together.
So Anne mentioned a mix of emotions out there. You're shocked, gobsmacked, I might say, and sad. But I want to let you know I made you cupcakes with red frosting. So I felt the same way when I heard the news, and when I signed up last year to be junior warden and for senior warden this year all at once. Matt asked me for that 2-year commitment. I didn't know that I was going to be senior warden through this. But I feel called to be in this role for you during this time. I've been with the church a long time. I've been senior warden before. You may have known I worked with Matt and other co-chairs on the building campaign that we did, and then on the landscape campaign that brought us what I like to call my fountain and my labyrinth. And we have, you may have noticed, we have 2 junior wardens rather than 1, and that's because I need and we need extra help and attention from the vestry through this time. And so we have 2 other very, very experienced and devoted and faithful junior wardens, and that's Marjolaine and Romaine. And I will do my best to serve you as the senior warden through this period of time. And Matt's 26 plus years of ministry have been preparing us for this day. I really believe that now. At first, I thought he just had to tell himself we were ready as he made this decision, that he had to justify it to himself. But as you now know, we have had time to reflect on it. And the reason I say that we're prepared, look at us today. Look at how many people are here. It's Memorial Day weekend, and yet look at us. We are prepared. We are in a good, healthy place in more ways than I could say. One is financial. That's the purview of the vestry, so I have to mention that. But also the way we minister to each other in small groups. Matt taught us that. The beloved community, Matt brought that to us, and that has an independent life. The gifted associate priests we have had over the years, including now Nancy. The long roster of faith-enriching preachers that we have, both ordained and lay here at the church. And then I think the sermon about the 7 gifts of the Spirit is really apt, because it's those gifts that Matt has been both conveying to us and teaching us to live all these years. So we are a wonderful, vibrant, faithful parish, and having gone through the associate interview process, one of the things that attracted the various candidates to us is our size and our vibrancy and our faithfulness. So we will attract somebody who's wonderful. I know it in my heart. And the next chapter will be different. We're sad, but it will be a very good chapter to start the next 75 years of St. Mark's. We're hitting our 75-year mark. We're starting on the next 75 years. So there will be plenty of opportunity to thank Matt. And when I did a timeline for this transition, as part of each phase, I added cry. If you want to cry, cry.
Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you, Anne. Incredible leadership. Thank you. Date?
Do you want to mention the date?
My last Sunday with you will be July 30th. 2 months. 2 months. So it seems around the corner, and it is, but the only thing I want to correct with what the wardens were sharing is that I follow you as much as you have followed a rector. Your faith, your presence, your passions have enriched this place. The Becoming Beloved community is an example of that. That came from you. And so that will continue. And that's what we can celebrate together, that the church is about those gathered. And this place has a great history and a great future. So thank you for your own faith. We are going to stand. We can talk some more in the forum, and we'll have a couple months. The kids want to go to the back. Any kids here? We will continue to celebrate Pentecost, and we're going to sing and praise the Spirit. So let us stand together.